Humans make more carbon dioxide than ever before. Despite widespread concern over global warming, humans are adding carbon to the atmosphere even faster than in the 1990s, and even faster than ever before, researchers warned on Saturday. Carbon dioxide and other gases added to the air by industrial and other activities have been blamed for rising temperatures, extreme weather, and are increasing worries about possible major changes in weather and climate. And these things are happening rapidly. Carbon emissions have been growing at 3.5% per year since the year 2000, up sharply from the 0.9% per year in the 1990s, said Christopher Field of the Carnegie Institution for Science. It is now outside the entire envelope of possibilities considered in the 2007 report of the International Panel on Climate Change, he also added. The largest factor in this increase is the widespread use of coal, dirty coal, as an energy source. And without aggressive attention, societies will continue to focus on the energy sources that are cheapest, and that means coal, especially with a worldwide economic crisis or downturn or recession or depression or whatever it be. Past projections for declines in the emissions of greenhouse gases were way too optimistic, he also said. No part of the world has seen a decline in emissions from the year 2000 to 2008. France's National Center for Space Studies told the meeting that improved satellite measurements now show that sea levels are rising faster than had been expected, and rising oceans, in turn, can pose a threat to low-level areas such as South Florida, New York, and other coastal areas. As the ocean warms and expands, and as water is added from melting ice sheets, and the rise is uneven, with the fastest rising areas at approximately 1 centimeter minimum, or 0.39 or 39th of an inch per year in parts of the North Atlantic, Western Pacific, and the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica. That could be a conservative estimate. Biofuel backfire. Also, highly promoted efforts to curb carbon emissions through the use of biofuels may even backfire, other scientists and researchers have said. Demand for biologically based fuels has led to the growing of more corn in the United States, but that in turn means fields were switched from soybeans to corn. Meanwhile, there's been no decline in the demand for soy, meaning other countries, such as Brazil, increased their soy crops to make up for the deficit. And again, in turn, Brazil created more soy fields by destroying the tropical forest, which tend to soak up carbon dioxide. They're the filters of the atmosphere of the planet Earth. Instead, the rainforests were burned, releasing the gases into the air, in turn, again, making it even worse. The increased emissions from Brazil swamp any declines recorded by the United States. If crops like sugar and oil palm are planted after tropical forests are burned, the extra carbon released could supposedly, theoretically be balanced by lower emissions from biofuel in 40 to 120 years. But that's no guarantee. And you're still destroying the rainforests. Climate change is happening. Climate change is real. Ice shelves are starting to break off or break up. The ice is melting, especially in the Arctic. There's a new northwest passage for ships to travel through. Bird species are migrating northward. In the United States, probably all around the world. Birds that used to be in the further south are now being found much further north. They can adjust to climate change in some way. Trees, plants, grasses, that's a different story though. And climate change, global warming, there's a lot of things it's not an exact science. There's a lot of things that are unknown about it because there's an unnatural element to the climate change nowadays, and it's called humans. It's going a lot faster than it probably naturally would because of what humans are putting into the atmosphere. Approximately 70 million tons of carbon every day go up into the air or the atmosphere. And all these are connected to everything else. All these signs and all these things are connected to everything else that's going on around the world. The economic crisis, the wars, the political sphere, and all the other problems that are going on. And in turn, all these things, again, are connected to the end times, transition days. And yes, there is a transition going on. Things must change. Everything that can change must change rapidly. And all these, again, are more signs.